Today, I really actually wanted to share a personal story, some ahas that I got from a recent, going into joining a run club, right? And so when we talk about building our business and building relationships, one thing that my strategist tells me is that you have to go to places that meet consistently. How many of you guys have ever looked to build relationships or strengthen community and they have a great pop-up and then they don't do anything for like a whole nother year, right? And it's like you have a really good time, you make great connections, but because they don't meet on a regular basis, it's hard to go deep. And one of the things I think we miss as salespersons is that we're constantly selling. Even on social media, we're constantly selling on social media when it says that our goal is to be social, right? And so something that I've noticed, even with my friends and just as we get older, is, and I noticed this because of our business, right? We had about 40 to 60% of our business from the pandemic up until now, depending on the year, we're relocating clients. And I would talk to the clients and I would go and hang out with them. And one of the hardest things that I would find is that they were having trouble building community. Now, I can't relate because I'm from Houston. This is home. I go outside and wave at stranger and become friends. And yet what I realize is that if we're not nurturing these spaces to where we can actually build community, it's really just a whole lot of lonely people. So fast forward, I joined this run club, right? And I've been showing up on my news feed on Instagram, and I don't ask a whole lot of questions. They said we meet at the park on Wednesday. Now, I had been seeing them enough to get over my own fears of not being a runner. Like, it took them a couple of clips saying that, don't worry, we have a walking ministry, we have a cruising ministry. So that's actually what led me to get out of my comfort zone and go to this run club, because let's be honest, I haven't been running probably since high school. So I always say, I pray I'm never in danger and my only method of escape is running, because I'm going to be in trouble. Yet they say, okay, well, don't worry, we've got different groups that you can find your pace in, right? And so they had these three groups. They had the pacers, and these were people that ran a 4 to 6 minute mile. So I already knew from the Instagram reel I wasn't in that group. Then they had the movers, and these were people that ran about a 12 to 16 minute mile. And I want you to put in the chat, number one, if you feel like you're a pacer, number two, if you feel like you'd be in that moving group, or number three, if you're a bit like me and you would be a cruiser. And the cruiser, those were the people that are around a 16 plus mile. They're just out there to walk. We are literally cruising, right? So I get ready, I go to the park. I'm like, that's right, I'm being the cruisers. But I get there, and this is like not a normal run club. They got DJs. It's like a party. We're stretching and line dancing all before we even get on the park. So my energy is up. My adrenaline is up. I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I bet I can move with the movers, right? 12 to 16 minutes, that doesn't seem bad. So I talk myself, right? We're leaders in Keller Williams. We're taught to reach up. I stretch my goals. I said, Chase, you don't have to be a cruiser. You can be a mover. Get with the movers. So after they finish stretching, the squad leaders all have a sign, okay? And depending on your group, you get in with the group. So then the mover group sign comes up, and I look at the person next to me. I'm saying, I'm gonna go with the movers. I think I can do it. I've done this before. I've been out to the park. Can't be that bad. So we get going, and as soon as they start off, I'm like, you made the wrong choice. They moved. Cause see, I thought 12 to 16 minutes was gonna be like a little jog. They moved. Listen. So it didn't take long before the movers had moved on without me. I mean, I don't have the endurance of whatever small, I have quantum endurance is what I have, right? Slight yet very insignificant. And so I found myself at the park. The mover group had pretty much left me, okay? I came by myself, so I didn't have anybody with me. And the cruiser group, the group I knew I should have been in, well, they took a different trail because they were going to be taking a whole lot longer, so they went on a whole different route. So I found myself stuck by myself walking by myself. And I know you guys don't know this about me, but I'm super sensitive, right? So now I'm all in my head, right? This was wrong with me now. And I'm not with the mover group. And I can't find the cruiser group. And I'm just out here running by myself. And I was supposed to build community. Then it started raining. So you guys, this is now becoming the most depressing introduction to a run club that I could imagine. I mean, I'm walking by myself. It's little 5-year-olds on bikes. They're just running past. They're just all the energy, right? And yet when I calmed down, I really kind of like, what lesson is this telling me? And I thought about it in our business, and I said, you know what? This is just like business. You go to mega camp, you look at the people on stage, you're a new agent, you feel like, I should be there. I should be closing $100 million in value. You hear these stories about people and how they've been able to close 500 units and 600 units. And yeah, you're inspired, but you start playing comparison. Be honest, right? Or is it just me, right? I sit at mega camp thinking, I should be that. My story is not valid until they're this. And what I realized is that if you miss the pace of your group, you will miss the whole purpose of why we were in business. See, so the next week I came back out there and I'm documenting, right? I'm all in my stories showing people that I'm at the run club. So I'm actually getting a whole lot of engagement and people are like, I want to go to a run club. That sounds like good, right? So I say, well, hey, I go on Wednesday. So the next Wednesday I go, but this time I'm smart enough to not be tricked. And I tell my friends, I say, hey, Seth, listen, I'm letting you know right now, I'm in the cruiser group. They tricked me last time thinking I could be in the mover group. I'm not in the mover group. I'm being in the cruiser group. Well, I'm creating normalcy with my friends because they're like, girl, that's what I want to do too. So the next week we're out there in the cruiser group. Whistle goes and here we go. We just start walking, right? We're not even pretending like we have goals. We are just truly out there to walk. And here's what was different. Number one, I wasn't alone. I had a really good conversation with a friend that even though I see him online all the time, we hadn't had the opportunity to just slow down and catch up. I actually built better community by slowing down and staying in the group that I was aligned with for that moment. Now, it doesn't mean that I can't amp myself up and practice. Maybe in 6 months I'll be in that pacer or mover group for real. But where I was in this moment was a cruiser. As a new agent, you might be a cruiser. You might be a consistent producer. I like to call those the movers, right? And if you're a pacer, then that means that you might be in the building phase of your business. You may be into scaling and hiring and expansion. And yet here's the thing, if you misplace yourself, you'll get discouraged. You'll be like me the first time I went out walking by yourself crying because all of a sudden you put yourself in a group that's ran past you. How many of you guys as new agents have felt like, I just gotta build a team? You still haven't really mastered conversation practice. You're still kind of learning how to really negotiate and get win-wins and write a contract, right? But because you're too big to go to Caliber, you're too big to go to Ignite, you're too big to go to training, well now you miss coaching, right? With the Go Network, you miss the opportunity with your coaches who are creating a pathway for you to slow down and build community. You know, when I first got started in real estate, my closest colleagues to this day are the ones that were at Ignite with me. They were my working partners. They were the ones that I called when I didn't know how to write a contract or when I had to go on vacation or I needed help with a showing. Those were the relationships that 15 years later we're building together. And so the reason why I share this is because a few things. Number one, pace is permission to grow sustainably, not proof of limitation. A lot of times we think that if we admit that we're not there yet, that's weakness on our part, when in reality it's strength. Knowing your lane is more than a jab insult when somebody's in your face. It's a strategy. Also, I want you to think about in your own life, in your own business, what if I told you that the real breakthrough wasn't in speeding up? That sometimes you have to slow down so that way you can choose the right pace. And so I definitely want you guys to like and subscribe. They say your race, your pace. And I know we say this, but I really want us to live with it, right? Your race, your pace. Your responsibility is to be honest about where you are and intentional about where you're going. I always say that secrets don't get saved. And a lot of times we don't get the help we need because we're solving for a problem that doesn't exist. And that is wherever you fall into this gamut. And so a few questions I just want to leave you guys with is, number one, which lane are you actually in? Are you a pacer? Are you a mover? Are you a cruiser? Are you a new agent? Are you a consistent producer? Are you in the building phase? Number two, what habits or systems will you need to reestablish and move into the next pace? And then number three, who do you truly need in your corner as your squad leader, right? When we were in that cruising group, I felt so good about myself. She was like, you guys still got time if you want to hit another half a mile. Me and my friend were like, we can do it, right? Because we were on pace. So we were actually thriving in the group that we were in versus struggling alone versus in the group that we weren't quite yet ready for. You guys, I'm Sloan. I'm in Houston, Texas. Like Teresa said,